Hello Captains, this is Kent again and welcome to the Flight Show. I know it's been a while. I have been traveling like crazy for work. I have been in 48 hours I've been from one end of the country, San Francisco, to the other, New York, and back. It's just been insane, but means I'm working well, means I'm making a living. So hey, I can't complain too much. But I really, now that we're on Christmas break, I got a little bit of time, and I really wanted to put some material up. And so I'm a little late behind a lot of other YouTubers, but I did purchase. Actually, I made two purchases. We have here Aerosoft's Airbus A330, and I also have gotten this Aerosoft's CRJ Professional, of which I was going to produce a video of the other one first, but I decided to do this one, and so a whole lot of material coming your way. Now, I'm going to be flying with the honeycomb flight yoke, so I'm going to be trying that out. Even though this is an Airbus and uses a flight stick, hey, what are you going to do? So anyway, let's just get started. So we've got to get this bad boy started up, so we're going to go ahead and tell it we're going to do options, checklists, and we're going to have our co-pilot help us. That's because I still have to learn this aircraft, so it's going to take a minute, but we can just get into things by jumping on the checklist now. Cockpit preparation, and let's go.
Cockpit preparation checklist.
Engine master.
Both off.
Weather radar. Power supply. Wind shear.
As required.
Landing gear lever.
Checked.
Batteries.
Set on.
Electrical power.
Now, while they do that,
External power is on.
Apu Fire Test.
I'm going to go ahead and start
Checked.
putting in our navs to save
Decam
time.
recall.
Here we go. So let's just get into this.
Checked.
Flaps.
Checked position.
Speed brake lever.
Checked retracted.
I already have this flight plan made up.
Parking brake.
Set on.
Accu-brake pressure.
Checked.
And this one has already been made, so the
Oxygen
new thing
crew
is it
supply.
looks
Checked.
for the flight that you may have stored already,
Cockpit
because
voice
that's the
recorder.
save file that I made from
Set
PSPX.
on.
So we'll insert it.
Ground proximity warning system.
Now the flight
On.
flight plan's already in there.
Flight control system.
On.
They'll have to get to the iris in a moment.
Adheres.
We'll update the winds. And so
Set
we
to
will
nav.
be doing our pilot's life.
Navigation lights.
So since we're flying
Set
with our
on.
pilot's life,
Cabin signs.
let's see here. Where's a pilot's life?
On and off.
Emergency lights.
While they're going through that.
Checked and armed.
Anti-ice.
Off.
Alright, we'll put this over to the side. The reason is we're going to use its flight number to put
Air
right in here.
condition.
Not that it really matters,
Checked.
but I do it anyway.
Electric power.
Alright. Okay, current flight. Let's get back in here.
Set on.
Okay, I just told it to start flight. Excellent. So our flight
Engine
is
fire test.
Delta Airlines
Number 1 and
81334.
Checked.
Ventilation panel.
Is checked.
We did this with a cost
Anti-skid.
index of
On.
40. Our cruising altitude.
Radio management panel.
Set on.
Just putting my information up on the side screen here.
Gain. Mode.
Cruising altitude will be 34,000 feet.
Checked.
Thrust levers.
Idle.
Engine mode selector.
Checked normal.
ATC. Mode. System. Altitude reporting.
Checked.
TCAS.
Okay, ours
Checked
is aligned.
standby.
Now we're going to do
Oxygen mask test.
our SIDS and stars. And we'll be doing 26 right.
Checked.
With a SID.
Flight director.
On.
Shade.
Checklist complete.
Here we go. And we will insert that. And then let's go all the way down to our arrival. We have a discontinuity there. We can go ahead and knock that out since I'm here. Insert. And here is our arrival. So we will be landing on runway. We'll be doing the ILS 34 right, which I just passed. And our star is going to be Hawk. Hawk Z7. Oh, just passed it. And we will not do a transition. Alright, so if we look at our flight, see, oh, we got one discontinuity. And by the way, while that is going on, as I'm getting stuff together, we really should be requesting boarding. Let's take a look outside. And I think the airplane is automatically opening up its cargo doors. That's excellent. So while they handle that, we will get on with the preparation. Now, as you can see with this new aircraft, it's waiting for us to close the doors, and it's interfacing with the GSX, which you already knew if you've used the other Airbus family, so nothing new there. So we're just going to hold that here while we get the rest of our plane configured. So this is all good. Now what we need to do is go down here and add our fuel and load. We have a PAX of 242 passengers. Our cargo is 29.7. And we'll have a fuel of 39.3. Now, I really do not feel like having to wait for them to load up all the fuel, because that's painstakingly slow. So we're just going to go ahead and say instant. I don't even know if we have that option. I'm afraid to hit it. What's going to happen? Alright, we'll hit it. Alright, we'll see how it goes. Hopefully we'll not have to wait for the whole fuel up. Okay, so while we're waiting for the bags and the passengers to board, well, technically they just said pilots boarded, but we're just going to roll with that. Okay, so let's see here. Losing my place. Okay. So we'll be taking off with a flaps 1. So now we have our V speeds in there. Next phase, that's our climb. So that's alright. And then cruise. Okay. No, we don't want to do that. Okay, so we put on our winds, which I need to consult. Let's see here, my active sky. I'll find out what those are. Alright, so winds are 350 at 7 knots, so 350 at 7 knots. That's not going in. Alright, messed that up, but we will figure that out a little bit later. Like I said, still learning this aircraft, but that is okay. Okay. So we got that few. Okay. So we have our zero weights in here. Looking good there. Just making sure. Yep. IRSs are all good. Alright, so I'm going to bring you back as soon as we are done with the baggage and I can handle all these other little things. So I'll be back. Okay, so what I have checked is with the airport, as you can see with the aircraft, we have one little change. The active runway is going to be 08 left, so I changed that in our NAS for our departure. But other than that, everything is cool. So now that the loading has finished, we can go ahead and close the doors. Alright, doors are now closing, which means we can continue on with our checklists. So, let's see.
Before start checklist.
Excellent.
Windows and doors.
Closed and locked.
I really haven't figured out the
APU.
knob how to brighten that, but that's okay. I have my
Set on.
I have my
APU
MPC
3.
that's off screen. I use VR Insight. Alright, bring it up to cruising altitude of flight level 340. And if I raise it up a little bit, I think you can see it a little better there. I gotta find out the knob that increases that brightness because I honestly have not figured it out yet. But we are at flight level 340. We can go ahead and do
Set
that.
on.
So we're good.
External power.
Disconnected and off.
Cabin signs.
On and auto.
Thrust levers.
Idle.
Parking brake.
On.
Barrel reference.
How exciting! Oh, actually, we can do this.
Set 1019er.
1019er. Check. Beacon lights.
Set on.
Everything's over there. Okay.
ATC.
Auto.
Checklist complete.
Okay, we are ready for pushback. No, we're not, because we're fueling up. I was afraid of that. Okay, I'm going to bring you back as soon as we're done. Hey, they got done just as soon as I stopped recording, which is great. They did it. I guess I had the setting on accelerated fuel load, which is great. So we're going to go ahead and let them do what they do. And in the meantime, we're going to get ready for pushback. So as soon as they are driving on their way, we should be able to complete that part of the animation. And what I'm going to go ahead and do is pull back our jetway. I guess no longer available. It'll do it automatically. Great. Yep, she is away.
Hello, Captain. We're ready for pushback.
Excellent. So as you can see, if I hadn't mentioned, I am now flying with Delta. I applied to them, and I gotten hired. I got a little bit of a raise, and not so much that I didn't like flying with United, because I did.
Locking gear.
But I wanted kind of a change of scenery in some of my base airports. Sometimes you want just things to look a little different. So I changed to Delta because one of my hubs is now coming out of Atlanta rather than O'Hare. This is actually very timely that Delta comes out with this aircraft because
Jet completed. Bypass bin inserted.
Delta is not a carrier of 787s. So for your wide body long range aircraft, it's very timely that we have this rather than having to use the 747 all the time or the 777. And they don't really make a 767 for
Release parking brakes.
Talking to you guys and he's telling me to release parking brakes. Okay, we want nose left, tail right.
Commencing push.
They don't really.
All engines clear. Start at will.
Class of an aircraft, the 787, they don't use a Delta. So they really use the Airbus. So it was very timely that this came out when it did, when I got a new job with Delta. So kind of happy about that. All right. In the meantime, we're going to go ahead and start.
Starting engine 2.
Engine 2 is stabilized.
Alright.
Starting number 1.
Set parking brakes.
Don't mind that.
Parking brakes are set.
Waiting your confirmation for good engine start.
Okay, I'll tell you in just a second.
Engine 1 is stabilized.
Don't mind that. Okay, they're like, wait, and we shall. Actually, I'm going to leave that let them handle it. I don't know if you do something instead of them, did they get out of whack? Alright, just checking. Let's set the flaps to setting 1.
After start checklist.
Disconnected. Bypass bin removed.
Engine mode selector.
Set.
APU bleed.
Set off.
APU master.
Set off.
Ground spoilers.
Set.
Rudder trim.
Left is clear. Right is clear.
Pitch trim.
See ya.
Set.
Flaps.
Flaps 1.
Flight controls.
Alright, let's do that.
Full left. Full right. Neutral. Full up. Full down. Neutral. Rudder. Full left. Full right. Neutral. Check. Anti-ice.
Off.
Cam door page.
Checked.
Hand signal.
Received.
Checklist complete.
Alright, we should be at taxi now.
Taxiing checklist.
Exterior lights.
Set on.
Brake check.
Pedal pressed. Checked.
Auto brakes.
Max.
Takeoff data.
Reviewed.
FCU.
Checked.
Flight instruments.
Checked.
Checked. Weather radar. Power supply. Wind shear.
Checked and set.
TO config.
Set.
Checklist complete.
Okay, so now we have nothing to do here but taxi down to our position. So I'll give you a little bit of visuals as I taxi, but then I might cut away so that we can, interest of time, get you going. But let's take a look. So we have quite a bit of wing flex, and I'm thinking it's like a windy day and therefore they flex like that. But I think that's a little exaggerated. I don't know if the planes would really be flexing like that unless it was a really windy day. And last I checked in our weather, it was only 7 knots. So, I don't know. We'll have to see. But beautiful aircraft. Get a little door action here. I'm using Fly Tampa's Las Vegas scenery. Oh, look at that light gleam off the wings. Now that is some nice PBR materials. Okay, we're cruising here at 8 knots. I think I'll give her a little bit of throttle and get her up a little bit. We're going to turn here. Now, I will talk a little bit about, so why am I using an A330 to fly to Seattle? Well, you know, contrary to popular belief, these long-range aircraft do on occasion fly, within the United States. In fact, just the other day I had a flight from San Francisco to Chicago, and what it started off, I was flying to Dallas, but the flight got delayed due to weather, and I was going to miss my connection, and so I would have had to stay in Dallas overnight. But the ticket agent was so incredibly nice. She was able to put me on her flight, which was a completely another flight, to Chicago, to make a connection in Chicago to get to Nashville. Well, as it turns out, the flight to Chicago from San Francisco was a 787, which was the first time that I ever got to be on a 787. I thought, I'm never going to be able to get on one because I'm always getting these 737s or CRJs. But true enough, from San Francisco to Chicago was a 787, and I got to sit in business class. Oh my gosh, it was wonderful. So every now and then, you will have flights within the United States that are longer range, but are actually wide-body aircraft. So it's not too unrealistic that you might have this. Now, there could be a variety of reasons for that, and I can't say I know all of them, but for all practical purposes, they may need this aircraft to go from Seattle to Tokyo. But they need to get it up there for that, flight, so they'll just say, hey, we'll shuffle it around and fly you from Las Vegas to Seattle, and then you'll do your really long-range flight. So every now and then you might get lucky and get on a wide-body aircraft. You just never know. I mean, I'm not really proficient at it, but there are people who know these flights and say, I want to fly on a 787, and they go get on a flight that the 787 is going to make, even if it's in the United States. I think they go to FlightAware. I'm going to have to try and pull that off, because that 787 was great. Well, anyway, all right, I will bring you back when we get to the end of the runway. Be right back. Of course I had to bring you back and give you some of these visuals, because I have to admit, this Las Vegas scenery by Fly Tampa is really nice. So I thought I'd just let you see a little of that in the distance as we're on our taxi. You can always fast forward if you didn't want to see it, right? Okay, yeah, that's cool. There's the MGM, the Pyramid. I love to stay at the Bellagio. In fact, of the 2 times that I've been to San Francisco, both times I was at the Bellagio. Now, don't think I'm just rolling like that. I was able to find deals, but still love the Bellagio. Once you get on that level, you just can't go back down. That's all I'm going to say. All right. So we're done with that. Now we should make takeoff. We'll get to that in just a second. I just have to say, I've been saying for years, why is it that no one does a wide-body Airbus for, Flight Simulator 10 and Prepared? And Aerosoft has answered the call. Now, the immediate question I'm sure people are asking, is this a PMDG level aircraft? I have not put it through its paces to say that it is or it is not. I don't know. What do I think so far? I think this is a pretty high-end aircraft, and they put a lot of time in it. But what I need to find out is kind of what's behind the wheel or under the hood. I mean, are they simulating actual systems? Like, are they simulating the flow rate of the fuel through the gas lines like you would have in a PMDG aircraft, or simulating the hydraulics? I don't know. Well, here, fly-by-wire, so not hydraulics, but you get my point. But so far, I can say that this aircraft has a great deal of fidelity, and even, though this is like maybe my 3rd or 4th time, like flying somewhere, I am particularly impressed with the aircraft. I am really a Boeing fan, but I've been having fun flying this. So, the best that I can tell you is that if you invested your money in this aircraft, and by the way, I got a discount because I had already purchased the Airbus family, and I think that you also get a discount. I mean, I don't think they stack on top of each other, but there's also a discount that you're entitled to if you got the CRJ Professional. But all of this is to say, I got a discount, so I didn't have to pay the $67, I think, dollars that it was on Sim Market. I got a discounted rate, so always happy with that. But why the investment? Because, hey, I know that there are quite a few of you that look for my reviews or, you know, getting in the cockpit and flying. Well, I say this is a review. Well, I guess I could because I'm flying it and I can tell you my opinion. But by the time I actually got around to this, there were so many other YouTubers out there that have done reviews that you've probably already seen them since you were chomping at the bit for this airplane. So, you know, I will say that I will drop my opinion here and there, but I will not necessarily say that I'm formulating this particular flight as though it were a review. Alright, we are almost at our runway. Excellent. I may edit some of this out because this is a long taxi, but maybe some of y'all like the fact that I put so much into these, you know, flights that you like the long ones. I don't know. I haven't quite gauged whether everyone wants, well, just give me an approach or give me a takeoff or give me a tutorial. Those are all different things, and I try to, you know, do them all separately. Okay, pretend that plane did not just sit by there because I'm not using ATC, but wow! In real life, that would have been like totally like I'm losing my pilot's license. Alright, we're gonna go ahead and let's engage this.
Flight attendants, seats for takeoff. Before takeoff checklist.
Engine mode selector.
Check normal.
TCAS.
Approach is clear, so we're just going to say
TARA, tilt above.
Exterior lights.
They're going to give us a line up.
Set
Wait
on.
just a second.
Sliding tables.
Stowed.
Stowed. Checklist complete.
Alright. We're ready for takeoff. Set takeoff thrust. Alright. Takeoff thrust.
Takeoff. Man, Choga, SRS and runway.
Check.
That's a little sensitive on the rudders. That's why I was having a little bit of a problem lining it up there. But I can change the sensitivity.
Thrust set.
If that plane don't stay where the hell it is as I take off.
100
Pardon my
knots.
language.
Checked.
Stay back there. Don't you come out here.
V1, rotate.
Clear up. Now I'm able to do this because I'm flying my flight director that's off screen so that you can have a little bit of the visuals outside.
check normal.
Spoilers.
Disarmed.
Flat.
Check retracted.
Landing gear.
Gear up, lights off.
Exterior lights.
Checked.
Pack.
Both on.
Anti-ice.
Off.
TCAS.
Set.
Altimeter.
Arrow reference set and cross-checked. 1020.
1020. Check. Check.
Right now, went above 250. Not sure why the engines didn't kind of get on top of that because I am using auto throttle. But that's okay. Just to increase our angle of attack, and took care of that.
Lights off.
Alright, we're over 10,000 feet.
Off.
Flying the aircraft just because I love this flight yoke and it's fun to fly. Contrary to popular belief, not all the airline pilots like hit autopilot as soon as they get in the air. Some pilots, as one pilot said to me, some of us like actually flying. I know, right?
Autopilot on.
Okay, we are now flying our SID out of the airspace, and everything went smoothly. So what I think I'll do is I'll bring you a little bit back when we get to cruising altitude. Well, I think I'll just hang with you till transitions, and then hand you off till we get to cruising altitude. But weather looks good. Flying out of here like a bat out of hell. We got a little over 300 knots, and we are climbing at 3,100 feet. Okay, we are now at transitions. And we are on course. Okay, I will bring you back after we've not gotten to cruising altitude. Much you might want to say bye-bye to Las Vegas. Really great scenery. Can't see a ton of it from all the way up here, but you can see that it's a full, rich area that they've accomplished with Fly Tampa. But now we are flying over them darn hills. Okay, we are at cruising altitude, and we are kind of somewhere halfway in between Las Vegas and Reno, Nevada. at 34,000 feet, and things are looking good. Weather is good and clear up here, very stable. You have a little snow-capped mountains over there to the west, and we have greenery, well, desert in the east, but it's looking good. Visuals are amazing. And we are cruising along here in our Airbus 330. Delta Airlines. So I'm really glad I was able to get a hold of this particular livery, considering that this is the airline I'm flying with a pilot's life. And I'm going to definitely be putting it through its paces for some medium and long range flights. As I get my different flights each week. Now, that being said, I'll have the variety for long-range flights between the 747, which has really been phased out for Delta, but hey, I love it. I can fly it. Here on a pilot's life, and I'm prepared for. The 777, which I also have, and then we have for kind of like that vein of the 787, though this range isn't remotely as good as the 787s. We have this particular variant as well. It's kind of like when I, had flown to Europe. We went from Atlanta to Munich, Germany, but it wasn't on a 777. It wasn't on a 747. It was actually on a 767. So I would say that probably the comparison to a Boeing aircraft would be the 767, or maybe the 767-300 long range, or ER with extended range. I think that these would be in the same vein with each other, as opposed to the 787. But that being said, we can do transatlantic flight with this aircraft. So just, whatever the feeling is going to be. But for now, I'm flying it so I can get familiar with the aircraft, and I'm liking it so far. Again, as I said before, I'm a bit more of a fan of the Boeings, but hey, I think that's also because I knew them very well. And so you got to step out of your comfort zone and just try new things. And so now that we have this long-range variant for an Airbus, we're going to rock it. All right, I'll talk to you when we get closer to top of descent. Okay, we are back here, and we're a little over 15 miles from top of descent. We had a nice, smooth, uneventful flight. Forgive that stuttering. I'm not sure why it's there. It's much better when I use this new stuttering. There's something about that feeling that just is cankerous. But nevertheless, we have work to do. So the altitudes have already been set in the computer for our descent, so that's already taken care of. All we have to do is, when the time is right, so we already put the destination data, and all we got to do is hit this bad boy right here. So, we do need this. So QNH and the this quickly. QNH is looking for. Why is it escaping me? Why is it eluding me? Alright, hold on. Okay, I haven't been to look for that. Okay, I'm looking for my QNH over here.
Descent preparation checklist.
Seatbelt signs.
I'll let them talk.
On.
Anti-ice. Altimeter.
Standard.
Landing elevation.
Set.
Baro radio.
Set.
Oh, there, put it in. Oh, okay. in my familiarity, and we will roll with this. And we are coming down on the appropriate descent rate, so that's good. Brakes going there. Alright. Alright, so this is not going to be very eventful for the next couple of thousand feet, so I will bring you back momentarily. Okay, we are now below 10,000 feet, and we are descending for the runway. So I have to say that I am enjoying this aircraft. Still getting familiar with it. Like I said, I have not had it more than a few days because I've been traveling work, but I'm having fun with it. So for all those that are, hop on the page and be like, this would be more helpful if you knew the plane better. Sorry, wasn't meant to be a tutorial, because when I need to understand something enough to teach you, I'll call it a tutorial. Otherwise, I'm just flying the plane and enjoying it and letting you see my learning process. I want to look at another channel otherwise. That being said, we're almost there. I'm happy. And I haven't messed anything up. Or at least, I don't think I have. Alright, brief pause here. It'll unlock in a second. Alright, there we go. So we're about to descend into the cloud cover. Passengers have all been chilling. It's been a very smooth flight thus far. So I'm looking forward to sticking a really good landing here. Assuming I don't mess nothing up. Okay, so let's go ahead and check out our speeds. So when we land, we'll be at 131, and that's fine. Anything? Nothing as of yet. Alright. By the way, that little sound, I tend to not even notice I'm doing it, but I grind my teeth. I'm going to try not to do it, because I remember on one video somebody thought I was like eating or smacking. Yeah, it's me grinding my teeth. And I really consciously try to stop. So, sorry about that. Alright, so where are we? We're about to hit our hard 6,000 feet. Excelente. Descending, and our speed is slowing down, so things are looking good. Now the thing, you might ask, well, what are the major differences between a Boeing and a Airbus? Airbuses are highly automated. Case in point, once you put that throttle in climb, it adjusts the throttles for all of the assigned speeds from that point on. And anything outside of that is where you literally want to do it. You'll notice that with a Boeing, the throttles adjust correspondingly, whereas here you simply set it and it stays put, and it adjusts things based on the computer. Well, so do Boeings, it's just that the Boeings actuate the actual throttles as well.
Approach checklist.
Ecam status.
Checked.
Sliding tables.
Stowed.
Stowed. Cabin signs.
Checked.
Nav accuracy.
Checked.
Bearer reference.
checked. 1013.
1013. Checked. Exterior lights.
Alright, localizer is
Set
live.
on.
Checklist complete.
Let's go
Localizer
ahead.
alive.
Alright, we are now armed on the
Flight
localizer.
attendants, prepare for
2000.
landing.
We're a little high for the glide slope. But you know what? I think I'm going to go ahead and hit approach. And we can go ahead.
Localizer captured.
Alright. Now this is Category 3. We could let it land itself, but we're not going to. What fun would there be in that? But we are on the glide slope.
1000.
Now at this point, our speed should be 197. So I'm going to go ahead and initiate it.
2,500.
Glide slope captured.
And release some spoilers to bring our speed down. Not a lot to see outside that window because of the overcast. So. Alright, gear down.
Gear down.
And we're going to give it a notch of flaps.
Speed check. Flaps 1.
And now, bring our throttles down.
Hundred above.
And we're going to bring the
Minimum.
Continue.
1,000.
Alright. Excellent.
Flaps 2.
Speed check. Flaps at 4.
See that I, kept us a little hot coming in, but that's alright. I'm going to...
Autopilot off.
500.
A little high, a little hot, but I'm going to correct.
Landing checklist.
400.
Landing gear.
300.
Down and locked. 3 greens.
Ground spoilers.
200.
and
100.
Alright.
Auto brakes.
50.
Medium.
So
40.
again, a little low
30.
landing, but you got it.
Twin retard. 10.
On.
5.
Go around altitude.
Checked.
Ground spoiler. Memo. Landing memo.
Outstanding.
Landing memo. Auto brakes off.
Alright, we'll exit right here.
Landing memo. Checklist complete. APU on.
After landing checklist.
Exterior lights.
Bringing flaps up.
Checked.
Ground spoilers.
Set off.
Engine mode selector.
Check normal.
Flaps.
Check retracted.
TCAS.
Set.
Brake temperature.
Checked.
APU.
On.
Alright, we are going to park it
Weather radar.
at
Power supply.
12.
Wind shear.
Both off.
Checklist complete.
Let's see. There we go. For whatever reason, they are not giving you the one that is available, so we'll just park it. So I seem to have to remove some gates here, so we're just going to have to do this as best we can with all these multiple gates. I'll have to get these SODE gates to be the primary and the original ones to be taken away. So we'll go ahead and park it right here. And I'll have to work on this airport. Alright, and now we will cut engines.
And the parking checklist.
Okay, so we have brought it in. Came a little high, a little hot. It's alright. Had a nice gentle touchdown. Gates we're going to have to work on, but this gave you an opportunity to just see the A330 in action. Hope you enjoyed the flight. More to come. Sorry I'm a little rusty, but hope you enjoyed the video nonetheless. So with that being said, I look forward to seeing you in the virtual skies.